Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Thank you very much for joining me today as we count down to Sale-A-Bration. Sale-A-Bration is a great time in the Stampin' Up calendar. It's running from the 5th of January to the 28th of February this year. And what Sale-A-Bration means is during this period, if you spend £45 with me in my store, slimandstylish.stampinup.net, you get to choose a free item from the Sale-A-Bration catalogue. If you buy £90 worth of product from me, from my store, you can get either 2 Sale-A-Bration items or you can get one of the larger Sale-A-Bration items free. Starting on Monday the 2nd, I'm going to start a 3, 2, 1 countdown. So on the 2nd will be the 3rd day, and I'll be doing a project featuring a new stamp set from the Sale-A-Bration catalogue. On the 3rd, it will be 2 days, and I will again be featuring new Sale-A-Bration products. And again on the 4th, it'll be one more day to Sale-A-Bration, and I'll be showing you another Sale-A-Bration item. On the 5th, join me back on my YouTube channel because I will be doing a run through and showing you the inside of the catalogues and what you can get for free over the next 2-month period. Hopefully you enjoy the 3, 2, 1 countdowns and get excited for Sale-A-Bration. There's lots of great stuff you can get and it will all be on my store, slimandstylish.stampinup.net, from the 5th of January. So welcome to our 3rd day in our countdown, and this is the card that we're going to be creating today. This is using one of my new favourite Sale-A-Bration stamp sets. It's a £45 stamp set, so if you spend £45 on my store, you can get this for free, and it's the adorable owls. I'm going to be using this cute little one down the bottom with his bow tie that's sitting down, and I'm going to be using the Hoot Hoot sentiment because I just think that's really cute. So to start off with, I'm going to be adding my stamp to my block. I'm going to be inking that up with Memento ink and stamping it onto a sheet of basic white cardstock. And then I'm going to be colouring him in with my blends. This is such a fun stamp set if you like our colouring mediums, because you can just go to town and have loads of fun. This is the SU 400, 500 and 600, and I'm just blending all 3 of them together on his main body. So I'm going backwards and forwards. I started with the dark, I did the outline with the light, I went over in the medium, and now the light is just blending it all in together, and I think it's really cute. I'm going to be using the light and dark crumb cake. So the dark crumb cake is going around the sides, and then the light crumb cake is going to blend all that in together and cover the rest of his sort of innocent side of his body, like his insert. For his tie, I'm using Bermuda Bay dark and light, and I've covered it with the light, and then I've put some dots on it with the dark. I've used light pumpkin pie for his beak and his feet, and his eyes are with light and dark mint macaron. And then I'm fussy cutting him out, ready to add onto my card. He's a little bit scaggy around the sides, which is cute and adds texture, but when I'm fussy cutting him, I've just fussy cut him flat so that we've missed that out just because it was easier. I'm using the layering Diahora, that's not how you say it, I have no idea how to say it, dies. They're from my store, and I'm also using the Wood Effect mini embossing folders. So there are 2 embossing folders in this pack, Paint Splatters and Wood Effect, and I've used the Wood Effect just down the middle of some basic white cardstock that's at 14.8 centimetres by 10.5. Next up, I've got some Bermuda Bay cardstock again, and I'm going to be heat embossing my sentiment, which is this Hoot Hoot sentiment, and I'm going to be heat embossing it in white. So I've used my embossing buddy and my Versamark to get this stamped on. I've just got some scrap paper, which I'm going to pop underneath so that I don't get my embossing powder over everything. White embossing powder, and then I'm just going to heat tool this until it sets. I'm then going to knock it off to the side, and my one reason for doing this is recently I've got a bit impatient when I've been heat embossing, and I've tried to use it straight away and I've smudged it. So always give it a couple of seconds just to cool back down so you won't smudge it. So I'm just going to put that to the side and continue with the rest of my project. going to pop that straight back in the pot so I don't make a mess. But I'm going to be using my scrap paper again, and I'm going to be using the crinkled seam binding along with my Bermuda Bay dark and light blends. So I'm just going to add some colour onto the ribbon. I've started off with a light to give it a bit of a base, and then I'm going through with a dark. I wanted this to not be 100% perfect. I wanted to have it looking quite sort of, what's the word? Mismatch in the colours. So you got the light and the dark, you got a little bit of white still shining through. It kind of looks fun, but not perfect. And that's definitely the look I was going for. And then I've just added a little bit extra on the back because I thought about doing a bow and I wasn't quite sure how much colour it would use. Okay, so give that a couple of seconds to dry before you add it onto your card. And then I'm just going to run it around the bottom of the card. So I have cut it slightly larger than the card so that I can do the first runner. And then I'm doing a faux bow on top. I did it big to start off with. In a few seconds, I'm going to come back and sort of play with it and make it a little bit smaller because I just realised it was a bit too big for my card. And I'm applying this around the bottom of the wood grain effect where it just goes onto the smooth cardstock. So a little bit of seal in there, stick it over, and then I'm going to stick it onto my card base. So my card base is a piece of A4 cardstock that's already been cut and pre-scored. And now I'm just going to adhere this down fully. I've popped a little bit more glue than I usually do. 1, because of the ribbon, and 2, because of the embossing. I just want to make sure that it's definitely stuck. And then I had a little bit of a play with the owl. I wasn't quite sure exactly where I wanted him and where I wanted his sort of lily pad that I've given him. I wasn't 100% sure, and also I then thought it's standing out a bit too much and I just want to have a bit of texture. So on this block I've added my Whisper White refill ink. I'm using my aqua marker and I'm just going to splatter this piece of cardstock so much with white dots. I'm putting loads on, and then I'm going to use my heat tool just to dry it quickly. I just wanted to give it some sort of grunge effect. It was looking too much like a solid colour for me. So I've just heated that up and dried it off. It got a bit too hot and burnt my fingers, so obviously I've dropped it because I'm daft. But there we go. A bit of a warning if you're using your heat tool by your fingers, just to waft it so that you're not putting it on there permanently and burning yourself like I did. As I said, I wasn't 100% sure where this was going to end up, so I played with it a bit before sticking it on, and I've used a foam pad just to get that stuck when I was happy, and a couple of dimensionals on the back of the owl to stick him down so he pops out too. Next up was my embossed sheet. So here's my heat embossing sentiments. I didn't want the whole of the sentiment, I just wanted the hoot hoots, and I've cut this really close to the sentiment. And I'm cutting them out separately. So instead of being one big sentiment saying hoot hoot, I've got 2 little hoot hoot sentiments, which I'm going to adhere onto my card using my Tombow. I've used Tombow with this because it's going onto the embossing section, and I just really want to make sure it sticks really well. So you can see that I'm just going to go back over these and stick them down firmly afterwards. There you go, properly stuck. To finish it up, I'm just going to add my bow, and then I'm going to add some of our rhinestones onto it as well. These are jeweled ones, and they're just absolutely beautiful, and they're just going to add a little bit of shine onto the finished card. And there we go. A card using the adorable owls. I can't believe that you can get these ones for free. They are so cute. All from my store, slimandstylish.stampingup.net. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.